How cool is this? You're about to meet a broker who got sick of making cold calls, so he created an AI automation that made calls for him, and it worked! So he started selling it as a service to other brokers, and that took off. And so today he's creating software that will automate it for any broker who wants to sign up. This story is so good because it could be replicated in so many other industries, not just brokers. Listen up. Yevgeniy Matsay and Aidan Richards are the co-founders of Rezora, which does outbound cold calls for real estate brokers.
Let's get it. The next new thing.
Presented by Zapier, the AI automation company. You guys started selling. Give me the revenue from the first few days.
40,000 in 40 days.
What did people pay for at that time?
So we would charge anywhere from an initial $1,000 to $2,500 setup fee, depending on the complexity and workflow, plus an ongoing $500 monthly fee, plus 20 cents per conversational minute that the AI did as well.
How much of it was working?
Everything was working in general, but it was, I want to say, first, the demand was too high, so the whole entire solution was not scalable long term. And at the end of the day, it was just a GPT with a text-to-speech model.
Let's go back, understand how you got here. You, Yevgeniy, were doing real estate. What'd you do in real estate that led you to find this problem?
Most of my day consisted, when I was a real estate agent, actually consisted of me waking up, getting to the office at around 8 a.m., 8:30 a.m., having my cup of coffee, and going into a tiny room and start cold calling homeowners at 9 a.m., have my lunch break at 12 or 1, and then continue cold calling until 4 or 5 p.m., hoping and praying that I can get a lead and get a listing appointment.
Wait, were you just calling strangers in a neighborhood and saying, can I list your property?
So you could do, that's one way to do it, but my specialty was actually expired listing leads. So what that is homeowners who tried selling with a realtor before and their listing went expired, meaning that it didn't sell. So I would cold call those people because they have a higher chance of relisting.
Okay, that makes sense. I imagine that you must have gotten a big conversion rate, right? These are people who tried to sell their home. It didn't work. They might not be happy with their current real estate person. Boom, you come in.
Unfortunately, it wasn't that easy. I would say they have a typical conversion rate as any other cold call, especially since they had a very negative experience with the whole entire process, not being able to not being able to sell their home with an agent before. And they're more reserved to that idea of relisting again, even if a person is desperate. They just don't want to deal. Since that their agent basically screwed them over, they want to deal with another agent again as well.
What was your conversion rate back then when you were making these calls?
What do I want to say? I don't have a hard metric,
but if I were to estimate 1% to 2%, 1%.
Okay. That sounds pretty good, no? 100 calls, you're spending all day making calls? Not good. You were still frustrated by it. Why?
It's not like I would make 100 calls and then boom, 1% conversion. First, you have to actually get connected to a person that picks up on you. That's the hard part. You can call 200 people before you actually get connected to someone that is the correct homeowner.
Okay.
And it's not like it was a hard set 1-2%. It's not like I would call, let's say, 1,000 people and definitely would get 10 listing appointments. It's all very variable.
How did you decide to start with software?
I actually started real estate straight out of college, and I graduated in computer science and cybersecurity. And I just wanted to dip my toes in real estate. Always just wanted to give it a try. But honestly, after 2 years of cold calling, I got very fed up with it. It was very draining.
Yeah.
And I couldn't take it anymore. And this was at the time when AI voice agents were becoming a thing. So I'm like, oh, wait, I can definitely implement this into my workflow, because why wouldn't I? Why wouldn't an AI agent be able to just call and qualify? So I used a couple of platforms. All of them suck because, first of all, this is when AI voice agents were first becoming a thing. So all of them were not the best compared to what they are now. But second of all, there was no model that was designed specifically for sales conversations, phone conversations on hyper realistic or human, so to speak.
And that's when I got the idea of, oh wait, let me
Just do this for myself. Let me at least prompt it out to be very realistic, a very rigid workflow. And when I did that, I actually got my first listing appointment within the first day.
Wait a minute. Your first AI voice agent got you a sale within a day?
Not a sale, a listing appointment.
A listing.
Yes.
A listing within a
Yes.
day. And that's the
Yes.
thing that you were getting only 1% response on, right? That was the 1% conversion rate from the calls?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
All right. That's exciting. So then how far did you get with that?
So first of all, I wanted to optimize to make it sound as best as possible. So what I did is I kept this is when I was just getting comfortable with LLMs and and machine learning, all that stuff. And I realized with prompt that you can only take it so far. But I actually thought to myself, wait, I didn't get that far with it because I thought, so wait, what if other people want something like this? And that's when we launched Facebook ads, and that's when it took off. And I even didn't have time to do listings or run it for myself whatsoever.
Okay. Wait, so you were immediately thinking, I've got to create this as software. I would think, Yevgeniy, that you would think, why don't I become the real estate king of this whole neighborhood? I'm going to do nothing but automate this, and I'm going to get myself all kinds of listings, and then I'll bring people in under me who are going to run these listings for me, and I'm going to make a ton in real estate. Why not think that way?
That's a very good question. And I'll be completely honest with you. I just got fed up with it. There was no one thing about my personality type. I love implementing new things, working on new things, and real estate is the complete opposite of that. It is the same repetitive thing. And it has been that way for over 20, 30 years.
I see. You're a software guy. You're a problem
Yeah.
solver. You're not a real estate, let's make money, let's make deals type of person. You just got into that because you wanted to make a little bit of money for yourself to get started.
Correct. Don't get me wrong. I was doing great when it came to real estate. First 2 years, I learned a lot. It taught me a lot of specific about business negotiations, all these things. So I did excellent in it, but just in the 2 year mark, I just couldn't take it anymore because there was no room for, oh, let's try this new system. I saw that everything in real estate, and you could probably ask most realtors, they'll say the same thing. All the processes are the exact same thing as they were 30 years ago.
Okay, and I could see some people might enjoy that this is an area that they could keep improving
Yeah, of
on. This is
course.
something that they could just keep building on because it's not going to change dramatically day to day the way software might. You, on the other hand, said, all right, I'm going into software. You started immediately thinking about how to turn this into software. How long before you got your first customer?
So I want to say I took at least a good month on it before I even decided to do Facebook ads or anything,
Mhm.
because there's a plethora of agent types people need. So expired listing leads, buyers, etc. But I want to say as soon as we launched the Facebook ad campaign, it took us less than, what was it, 4 days? I think it was less than 4 days to get our first customer. And then it was the easiest because I've never done something like this before. And I was so shocked of how easy it was to take leads and to convert them into paying customers because we did a pay per lead campaign.
And so that means that you were using their lead capture form, right? On Meta.
Correct.
You
Right.
were. Basically, you didn't need to have a landing page. You didn't need to have anything built out. All you needed to do was have an ad and a lead capture form that Meta put together for you. That's impressive.
Correct.
Who created the ad?
I mean, I did.
What was the ad? Do you remember? Describe it.
It was a video recording with a wave loop of the AI talking to a lead. And that's pretty much it. And with a call to action.
I see. It's basically doing cold calling. There's not even a human being. There's not someone acting like a realtor. It's just a wave of a person getting a phone call from a like not even a realtor. It was an AI.
Yes.
Damn, that's
And they couldn't
impressive.
tell.
Oh, they could not tell because it sounded so good.
Yeah.
All
Yes.
right.
I mean, of course, some people are going to be able to tell, some others won't. You're going to obviously realize it's a little monotone, but for the most part, that's why people clicked on the ad.
So then how do you go from them filling in their information on Meta's pages to giving you some cash?
Yeah, of course. Honestly, I didn't even look at it at the way, for them to give me cash. It would be more so, okay, I will call them is because on the capture lead form, they would basically also schedule an appointment. So I would call them, confirm the Google Meet we would have, get on the Google Meet with them, explain to them what the system is, how it works, and if it is even for them. That was the main thing, because there were some realtors that were completely new in the game or have never done cold calling, and they would want this, and I would tell them, no, this is not for you. Why? Because they wouldn't know how to handle those leads when it came time for the listing appointment, so they'd be wasting money. So it was more so of, listen, this is what it can do. If you're already calling or you have someone calling on your behalf, this can replace it. That's all it is. It's AI. It's also not perfect. It can make mistakes, of course. That's all I have to offer. And shockingly enough, we had above 80% conversion rate.
But it's you actually doing a Google Meet with them, walking them through this and closing the sale yourself.
Correct.
All right. Was the software ready to go to actually take care of them once they paid?
So that's the thing. I would tell them, listen, since we're having a huge backlog, it will be anywhere from 4 to 5 weeks wait time.
Okay. And what were you planning on doing?
person.
And you can actually set them up within those 4 to 5 weeks, or was this just
Yeah,
a
oh,
stalling
yeah.
mechanism? You could, because you were doing personally for
no,
each
no.
one, you were custom coding each person.
Yes, exactly. I was, it's not even custom code at that point. It was just custom prompting for each one and a specific workflows. But it was generally, I needed the 4 or 5 weeks because we already we were having customers one after the other. I do a lot of testing. I can't, if someone even pays for our product, the worst thing you can possibly do, in my opinion, is give them an okay version and not a perfect version. So
Okay.
a lot of that time went to me testing it a lot. Because if someone trusts you with their money,
It's your responsibility to actually deliver the best product.
Okay. So tell me, what's the workflow? What did you use to create this for them?
at the time I was using Vappy to just prompt it out, have the LLM connected to the text-to-speech model and the transcriber. Then I also had a front end connected to Vappy API where we just show the user the recordings, appointments, and that's pretty much it.
Let's talk about how you set this up. What was the workflow that you set up for them?
So I would use a low-code automation tool such as Zapier,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a very janky. The whole entire ecosystem overall, not the automation tool, but the whole entire ecosystem was not a full backend like you would expect, like a full stack web app. It was just something to have a workflow running for these customers and basically see if this is what people wanted. But it was not my intention to fully deploy and have this as the main code, so to speak.
I get it. You know what's interesting though? Essentially what you're telling me is I could probably do something like this for people right now using, let's say, Zapier, where I create an individual workflow for a customer that makes outbound calls for them, that is using nothing but Zapier and Vappy. And what other tools would I be able to use to build this for people individually?
I think that you're going to be pretty much set to go with Vappy, Zapier, and maybe a CRM connection, because Zapier can connect to people's CRM directly.
Okay.
So
they use Close
I
or
think
HubSpot or whatever. You pull their contacts out of there. There's a Zap that then connects with Vappy. Vappy uses is the voice agent. Zapier would make the call out on behalf of the real estate broker and then say, do you want to book this meeting? If they do, how does the meeting get booked? How does it get on the calendar of the real estate person?
So on Vappy, you have a tool call, or you can make your own tool call, of course, of connecting it to cal.com or another calendar app.
Okay.
And that will automatically, once you configure it, I won't go into the details because it is very mundane of how to fully set it up, but it directly books into the person's calendar, schedules it,
Yep.
and they will get a Google notification. Hey, you have a meeting booked.
I see. So that's what Aidan was saying earlier. Aidan was saying earlier, look, a lot of people are doing this as agencies. You're saying this is essentially what you did in the beginning before you created SaaS that was self-serve. But the big takeaway before we continue with your story is it seems like there's an opportunity for somebody to go and do this right now, to say, you know what? I'm going to do this for plumbers. These guys, Yevgeniy and Aidan, are doing
Absolutely.
this. Realtors, I'm going to do it for plumbers. Everybody's got some kind of plumbing need that they need, but they don't have time to call. I'm going to do outbound calls on behalf of plumbers, and I'll do it for them as a custom setup for every single company, maybe $1,000 a pop. And if it's not plumbers, maybe it's electrician, probably plumbing, actually, as I think about it. There's more plumbing needs than there is anything else. That's the kind of stuff that we're talking. Oh, I know what else. Lawn and garden. Do you need some landscaping work done? I happen to be in the neighborhood. Got it. That's essentially what you're saying can be done.
Correct.
Aidan, that's what you said. Most people do this as agencies. You guys started as agencies, but at some point, Yevgeniy said, I know I need this to be SaaS. Am I understanding it right?
It's SaaS, but it's also development of an actual large language model that has a high enough EQ for phone and sales conversations. That was the
Got it.
biggest thing. The agency model, getting rid of the agency model was the icing on the cake. But the main thing is there's no LLM, there's no ChatGPT, there's no Claude that is specifically meant to respond for sales or human-like conversations.
So how do
They're
you
too
do that?
verbose.
How did you do that then?
Fine-tuning.
You personally would fine tune.
Not back then. So that's when, after 6 weeks of launch, that's when I stopped and I worked on the development of actually making the LLM sound ultra realistic and also condensing down from an agency model to something people can just launch right away, which makes it cheaper for the end consumer as well,
Right.
but at the same time more scalable for us. But currently what we're doing is we take real conversations, we turn that into fine-tuning data, to be specific, supervised fine-tuning data, and we run supervised fine-tuning on a large language model, which in end results in the language model actually sounding more human and has more quote-unquote salesmanship in its responses.
I got it. Do you think that the agency model can ever, or at this point with technology as it is today, use any of that fine tuning, or you think that's a limitation of the automated workflows that we're talking about?
Oh yeah. So agencies right now, they're not, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but they're not the most tech savvy. These are just people doing automations through Zapier, connecting it to an API, whatever.
If I were going to do this for plumbers, if I were going to do this for landscapers, would I be able to fine tune the model, fine tune the way that the AI voice agent talks using recordings of other calls? Or do you think that's a limitation of that
Yes.
model? I could.
No,
It's just,
anyone can fine tune. Anybody can fine tune, but you have to know what you're doing. That's the thing. It's not like
Got it.
by fine tune, I don't mean prompt. I mean data orchestration of current audio recordings transcribed. So you take the audio recording, you transcribe it, then you run it through a judge LLM that grade every single conversation, make sure there's no artifacts. Then you also assign a scalar score to each conversation. So you rank on different parameters. Those different parameters are added up. There's a scalar score. And then you go through each conversation and you choose which ones get ended up in the supervised fine-tuning data set. And that's when you run your fine-tuning cycles. But there's a lot of nuances to it. You have to know like the learning factor of what to run it at, the epochs, all these things. It's
Okay.
It comes through a lot of trial and error. You learning these things. And interestingly enough, I was telling Aidan this the other day, there's literally no research out there on this topic. Zero.
I could understand that. And I'm getting what you're saying. Somehow we need to analyze real conversations and see what makes them magical, what makes them great, so that we can recreate them through these voice agents. And that's what you're working on. And you're
Correct.
saying it's hard even at your stage. It's possible even at the stage of somebody who's doing some kind of
Correct.
automation. All right. You then are getting sales. How do you transition from doing this like an agency owner who's customizing for each person to a SaaS builder? What's the next step?
Well, the transition wasn't that hard for me because I knew going in, that's what I wanted to do.
Okay.
This was just meant to confirm the market for me.
Okay.
This was meant to see, should I even allocate all my time and energy into this? And once we did our 6-week run, I got that confirmation. I told my customers at the time, listen, we're pausing during the time. And I just got to work on coding a whole entire front end, back end, testing different flows, and doing a lot of research of how large language models work. Because all this is very new. Sure, there's still some studies on machine learning algorithms, but it just took up a lot of research, and it was a lot of brainstorming, thinking, okay, there's no solution on the market right now where it allows a non-technical user to launch their AI agent and get it going in less than 10 minutes. There's absolutely nothing. So it was just a lot of trial and error of testing and how to do it. And that's all I basically did. So I went from an agency owner or agency, manucuring AI agents to right away, I was excited to start thinking, okay, how can I streamline this whole process? It got me already ramped up and going.
Okay.
The idea of it.
Tell me how you and Aidan connected then.
Absolutely. So at the time, I was coding. I still am over 12 hours a day, and I was thinking to myself, "Oh shit! How am I gonna even be able to onboard customers? How am I be able to sort out business nuances? Just handle everything else because just alone coding takes up forever." So I thought, well, maybe I do need a co-founder. I went on the Y Combinator co-founder matching platform. I just wanted to see, maybe there was like-minded individuals out there. I just put my profile out there. I got message from a few people, did interviews with them, and I just think to myself, yeah, definitely not. Then Aidan reached out to me. We did an interview. We instantly hit it off. We talked for our first Zoom meeting or Google Meet meeting. We talked for hours, not hours, but more than expected. We met in person, and we ended up talking for hours, and it was an instant click.
Why? Why did you click with him?
His hair, his hair was just so amazing. I clicked with him because he was not very, I don't want to say very direct, but he knew what he was talking about. He is very motivated, very ambitious, and has that drive. That's one of the most important things in a person is drive and ambition and motivation. Without that, I don't care how smart you are, what you know how to do, you're not going to get anywhere. And Aidan had 200% of all of that.
What was the role breakdown going to be, Aidan? Let's bring you in here.
Yevgeniy is pretty much responsible for everything on the product and engineering side, as you've just heard. And then, of course, I kind of, give my feedback, and we collaborate on where we want the product to head and what we think is next. But obviously, he has a better understanding of, what's possible and what should be done and what comes next. So my responsibilities really lie on the sales and marketing side. So I'm doing all of the outreach and kind of brand creation, brand promotion, and then handling everything on the operations side, things around legal and setting up new software and making sure that we're kind of maintaining relationships with people that we need, both on the client side and just regular colleagues and like that.
And people like me. I mean, you basically messaged
Exactly.
me endlessly. And when I said,
Yeah.
I think it's a good fit, you kept sticking on me until we found a way to make it work. That's
Yeah, exactly.
That's why I love him.
I do respect that. I do like that a lot. What about the ads? Are you taking that on now, Aidan?
We're not running any ads right now. We're launching access to our waitlist tomorrow, and that's going to be a little bit of a smaller campaign just in terms of kind of activating everybody that we've already spoken to, and then kind of getting the ball rolling on our initial go-to-market strategy. We do want to run some ads in the next few weeks, but we're still kind of trying to figure out exactly where they're going to fit in terms of resource allocation and time.
Such as SEO, everything else piled in on top of the ads.
The original people who are paying you $1,000 for the service, are they still paying you? Is that part of the revenue that you're bringing in?
No. So I got oh yeah, I stopped it all because it was a lot of work just to. I'll put it like this. Let's say I have an AI voice agent for you, and you needed something tweaked. Mm-hmm. That means you come to me. We have to have a meeting, and then I have to go over everything exactly which you need specifically fixed or change. All these things. Now imagine with 40 plus people, you don't have time to do anything else.
I see. So you didn't even set them up. How many people did you actually set up?
No, I set them all up. That's
so if you're setting up,
isn't it
once you set up, isn't it ready to just go on its own?
Not necessarily, because like I said, a lot of people need tweaks, a lot of people need changes, and there was no customization to it. Our front dashboard, the only thing you could see was audio recordings And
see.
yeah, just auto recording to the point. That's it. You couldn't tweak it whatsoever. There was no customizability at all for the end user.
What type of tweaks were people asking for?
I wanted to say this instead of that. Can can it go through? Can it go through tasks 1, 2, 3, but skip 5 instead of things like this? It was just everyone wanted such a different style, and people once they hear it, everyone, even if it got that point, people want improvement. Oh, but can it do this? Can it do that? Can it do this? And that's when I thought to myself, oh shit, okay. I need a platform where people can do this everything themselves, but they don't have to have the technical knowledge to do so. And my mind frame at the time was, why isn't there anything like this right now? That's what got me the most excited.
I see. And if you were running an agency, you'd be able to keep servicing them. We're not talking about big, complicated tweaks. It's just little tweaks, but it does take time to interact with them. It does take time to go and do the work yourself.
No, it's not even little tweaks. Because some people would want a whole redo of, oh, okay, I don't want it's not even a whole redo. Let's say, for example, I want a mortgage guy wants an agent. That means I have to research the scripts. I have to tell him to send me his scripts. But the thing is, I would never, even when I was doing the agency model, I would never script my AI agents. I would never say, step 1, say parentheses 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I would never script that. I would actually instruct it step by step. So that's what takes up a lot of time, and then back testing that or testing it nonstop until it sounds good.
I got it. All right. I do still think though this would work as an agency and someone who did it as an agency.
No, it would.
Right. If you're looking at $40,000 within 40 days, my hunch is that you'd probably be able to do $50,000 a month in agency business with this, right? Recurring revenue, just keep taking care of your customers, deal with churn by bringing in some new ones. It would just mean constantly tweaking people's automations.
Yes, absolutely. And that's how a lot of companies do, and they're very successful. What's us, why we weren't able to, is because usually these AI agencies, they have a team or it's 2 or 3 people, and they're constantly tweaking it. They're listening to their customers, they tweak it, whatever. So it's ongoing work, but think about almost like a marketing agency, right?
Yeah.
A marketing agency is running ads. They're going to be constantly tweaking ads for the person. Like the person can say, no, I don't like this, or the type of customer I'm bringing in is not good. So they're going to be tweaking. It's the exact same.
And the challenge also, if you were running an agency, is somebody is going to SaaSify this. It's just a natural next step. And so an agency doing this would have to keep running fast because there would be someone in the background who's coming in. Tell me about how you turn this into software.
Oh, sure. So I broke it down to the bare. I didn't even break it down to the bare bone. I want to say I thought to myself of how I can let users deploy their own AI voice agent. That is good. That they don't have to prompt out, because prompting is a full extension in itself. So that's the first thing I thought. And the first thought that came to my mind is, of course, you need a dashboard to sign up. So what I did, I started coding and just testing a lot. And one of the first things we did was build out individual AI agents that we already know people wanted. So specifically, an expired listing voice agent, a real estate wholesale agent, all these things. But these AI voice agents are connected to our fine-tuned LLM, which is our biggest moat, because anyone can go ahead and prompt out a few agents and whatnot, and SaaSify it as well. So what we did, we fine-tuned the LLM, we built out a bunch of agents that we already know people want, and we put those agents on the platform. We then expose those agents, those agent parameters of, the prompt, the voice styles, the type of voice, all these things on the platform itself. So the user has the option to choose, oh, I don't like this voice. Okay, cool. You can change the voice, change the speed of the voice, all of these things, and also at the same time input parameters into the AI agent. For example, you can name your AI voice agent. You can give a background about yourself, and mind you, not through prompting, but just through text input that we expose on our website. You can hit deploy, then you can launch your own campaign, and it'll start calling for you. So everything is done, and this is all connected via backend, of course. So that's how we turn it from an agency model to a SaaS model. Basically, of thinking what was the best way to let it be customizable, but at the same time sound exceptionally good. And that's where the fine tuning also comes in.
Talk to me about that, about the work involved in it. I think when I talked to you, it seemed like, well, there's Claude Code, there's Cursor, everything's so easy. And you said, yeah, it's easier, but I'm still spending 12 hours a day working. I've never worked so hard in my life. What's making it easy? And then where's the difficulty?
Okay, so this is if we're just talking specifically about full stack development, right?
Sure.
The thing that people have to understand is that with Claude Code or any of these coding tools, they're just that, they're tools. If you don't know how to swing a hammer, the nail is going to go in a bent. If you know how to swing a hammer, the nail is going to go in straight, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same exact thing. Why I say that? Sure, you can vibe code with Claude Code. You could tell, oh, please implement this, and it'll build you some things out. But the thing is, if you don't understand what you're coding, if you don't know the framework, if you don't know the architecture or the workflows behind it, or that need to be in place, you're going to have a lot of errors, you're going to have a lot of bugs, and you're going to have a lot of issues with it. So Claude Code is exceptionally excellent at, if you tell it specifically out of what you need implemented, how you need it implemented, and you have a whole plan in place, Claude Code is exceptional for that. But if a person doesn't know the framework, doesn't know how a connection from a to be happens or how it should look like, then they wouldn't even know what to look for when if Claude generate good code or bad code as well.
Talk to me about what's possible today. I remember talking to Gary Tan, president of Y Combinator, and he basically said, look, smaller teams are able to create so much more than they've ever done before. It feels like that's where you are right now. You're a one-person operation creating the software.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You can definitely create I can't imagine doing this all manually.
Mm-hmm.
I really can't. So think about it like this. Either you can write the essay yourself, or you can get GPT to write the essay for you, and then you make tweaks to it to make sure it sounds good, right?
Yeah.
So I can't imagine without them that I would be able to do it at the scale that I have done it at. Yes, absolutely. People could do a lot more than they could even a year ago.
I see. So it's just, if you know what to ask for, you can get it. And it's faster than doing it yourself, but you still need to know what to ask for, is what you're saying.
Yes, you have to know how the architecture should be of that said framework or code, whatever you're working on.
All right. So right now, how much of the $40,000 did you guys get to keep? You did 40,000 in sales. How much of it did you get?
I'm going to say we kept straight profit around $34,000.
Okay.
$35,000.
What kept you from keeping the rest, and what allowed you to keep that part?
Facebook ads, that was basically our only
Oh, that's
expense.
it. So you did get paid, you built the automations, you just couldn't take on more automations for more customers.
Yeah.
I see.
And I was itching to finally, okay, let me start let me start this whole entire, I was literally itching to already start that.
And what about the people who paid you and needed tweaks? Were you still tweaking it, or did you finish? You say, look, I'm not doing it anymore.
I was still tweaking it for them, and I still took care of them until I told them, hey, listen, I'm going to build this out, rebuild and make it a lot better. You're obviously you're going to obviously get compensated. You're going to get a free few months, all of these things when we relaunch.
Got it.
And it's going to sound a lot better for you as well.
It does seem like real estate brokers are willing to try new technology more than others. I don't know about plumbers, but I do know that when there's a new tablet, I would see it on a real estate broker's desk. When there's some new app, they're likely to play with it and even talk to you about it. I don't know what it is. I don't know if they're all entrepreneurs. I don't know if they have a lot of time on their hands. What do you think it is?
You know what? I'll be honest with you. It's a 50-50 mix. Some real estate brokers, agents, especially the older ones, they're very against anything new.
Okay.
It's like, if you bring it up, you personally offend them, essentially. while others are very excited to try. And currently, what's happening in brokerages across the United States, real estate brokerages, and this was prominent in my brokerage too, was now they have classes on AI. They have classes of how to utilize ChatGPT for your business. So I guess that's also what helped us out a lot too, was since a lot of these realtors were their own brokers were telling them, listen, you have to utilize AI. You have to utilize AI. AI is the next best thing. They're being constantly fed this. I guess that also helped with onboarding the first users that we ever onboarded.
I see. I do get that too. They have always been really good at training. They've always been good at doing motivational speakers. And so now they're teaching people how to do AI. All right. Why'd you come up with the name? Let's close it out with that. How'd you come up with the name?
RE is, of course, real estate. Zora is in a lot of Slavic languages, new beginnings. And that's when I was finishing real estate and going into this new field, essentially.
I see. All right. Fantastic. Thank you, gentlemen. Good luck. Bye.
Thank you
Thanks,
so
Andrew.
much, Andrew. Thank you for having us.